Well, hello, boys, girls, and Pokemons, and all of the people who are watching us. Welcome back to the new episode. So, in the last one, we took care of the debutantes in the next World Cup, and now we're gonna focus on a few other teams that made it to USA.
Yeah, and these teams are Ecuador, Australia, Brazil, and South Korea.
Exactly. So, we're gonna dig into it straight away. So, yeah, you're actually, like always, been a fan of some exotic teams, exotic leagues, and exotic nations. So, yeah, why not start the video with your view of Australia national team?
Yeah, because Australia is pretty much, like you said, exotic team and pretty much interesting one. Since it's also like very old international team, it's not being like founded, let's say yesterday, but just over 100 years old. But their first years they were mostly like traveling team. They were just like going from coast to coast from country to country, playing
Just
here and
fun
there.
matches there.
Yeah, nothing much serious, just like maybe promoting the game, like the rules and all of the ideas of football back then. So let's skip ahead. Let's jump over like the Second World War and all of the things happening. And yeah, after all of that, what happened back in the 60s? They were mostly undisputed champions of Oceania. They won that title 5 times, and yeah, they were constantly being the favorites of this tournament, because like who else do you got there? Like New Zealand, maybe, probably.
But that's about it. Probably if you like teams like Fiji and Tonga and stuff like that, it's like even New Zealand team isn't that strong or good or competitive compared to Australian, and let alone these like small island countries.
Exactly. So the Socceroos, how is their nickname, moved in 2005 or after 2004. They moved to Asia. Yeah, to like Asian Football Association, and left Oceania on its own. So it benefits both sides of this
New Zealand and also like because now they're the ones with a clear path to World Cup, because let's not forget like in the like early 2000s the Australians didn't have like automatic qualification even though they were the best team. Then like the propositions were like that, so they had to play like a playoff match with the 6th team from South America,
and they were cursed for these playoffs. They lost even against North Korea for World Cup in '66. But for their
back then because basically they returned to Asia because they were also like bouncing from federation to federation.
They were looking for their actual place in the football world,
like under the sun.
Yeah, but for their justification, in '66 North Korea was a quarter finalist of the tournament, which England have won. And yeah, North Korea even was on the 2-0 lead against Portugal, but they lost because Eusebio was something else back then. Yeah, so basically their World Cup debut happened in 1974 in West Germany, and they lost in the group stage, but they got their first point against Chile with 0-0 score and no goal scored anyway, but with first historical point
at least.
Yeah, and later after that they have returned to their losing path of playoffs. They've been losing to almost anyone they have met, and then back in 2006 against we had once again World Cup in Germany, but unified one back then.
Time.
Yeah, and they played back again on the World Cup stage, and that was one of their best appearance, because
they made it out of group stage actually.
Yeah, which was pretty tough one, because they played against Brazil, Croatia, and Japan. And yeah, in the first match they've been playing against Japan, and Japan took a fast lead against them. But Tim Cahill, they're like top star of all the time for now.
I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I would always say like Harry Kewell. Like I can't go with an Everton man.
Also him, yeah, that was like Australian golden generation.
Yeah, definitely. Like also with Mark Viduka, or like
Viduka, yeah.
a lot of really good players that are playing in the Premier League at this point.
And that showed,
Yeah.
especially in the 2006 World Cup, because they really showed Japan where's their place on earth. Back then they won 3-1 that match, lost against Brazil 2-0, but Brazil was
Another level, let's say.
another
Still.
level, and they had 5 World Cups, which we will cover shortly in this episode, and they were still world champions back then after 2002 World Cup. And pretty nice match happened later in the third fixture against Croatia. Always tough one for any rival, and with Srna.
Yeah, very good players actually, and it was like also a weird team because weird matchup because a lot of Australian players from that time had like a Croatian heritage.
Yeah, and also a fun fact: one of the players got a yellow card 3 times.
Oh yeah,
Because the referee
that's
forgot.
that game. Oh my god, yeah, I totally
was
forgot
the-
about that one.
That was this one, yeah. Later, like the referee got like sacked and all of this, but yeah, it was mostly
wild.
remembered not about the score, which was like 2-2, but about this like
Three
strange.
yellow cards, yeah. For Šimunić was it?
I'm not
cool.
sure who was it
Yeah.
exactly, but it was that day. So they advanced from the second place along with Brazil, and later, well, they lost against Italy 1-0. Francesco Totti scored the only goal, and until World Cup in Qatar, they were playing on the World Cup, but all the time losing in the group stage. But in Qatar, they once again proved that they are back again on the winning path. So
Even though I would never guess that they can go through in that group, to be honest.
me too. Yeah.
Like that was like a pleasant surprise.
And they also advanced from second place, and they lost to also future World Cup winner Argentina 2-1.
And it was a decent game actually, like it wasn't a blowout. So yeah.
Yeah, Argentina kinda played same as they played against Saudi Arabia. Like they thought that match is already won because they took the lead, and who are the opponents to beat them? And it was close. It was close because
Definitely, yeah, and like it took a while for Argentina to actually get serious in that tournament.
it took. Yeah, I think the turning point was after match against Netherlands. These like penalties.
that was so close, such a close call, and like the match full of tension and everything. But yeah, I mean, like, the topic is not Argentina.
That's
They were the topic like a few months ago when they qualified in April.
Yeah, yeah. But if someone's interested or like haven't seen that one,
Yeah, go for it. It was like a peach.
yeah, one of the best match of previous World Cup. For Australia, still their biggest success is becoming the Asian champion in 2015, so like 10 years ago. And they were also playing a couple of times in the Confederations Cup, which isn't a thing now. So just to mention that they played even in the finals of this tournament 1 year always before every World Cup.
World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, with like every champions of like the regions. So yeah, basically they are back in the World Cup. They proved in the very tough group because they had Japan, which was like destroying everyone, in that group, but they also had Saudi Arabia, who's
very
growing.
decent team. Even though they started not that good, and in the end they even had to sack their coach because of the bad results. But yeah, like Australia is a stable team and very experienced team, and that might be the problem in the future for them, because majority of their good players at this point are like 30 plus.
Yeah, they are meeting like the same problem that they had in like 2014 World Cup.
Yeah, when that like golden generation already got closer to 40s than to 30.
And the new players didn't had much experience to play like on a high level.
Yeah, but let's see. Now, if they struggle, maybe they'll move back to Oceania to have like a free shot at every World Cup.
Yeah, if they will move back, we will see them every 4 years.
You know that like the main issue that people who follow like Australian football more closely, they say that it has a lot to do with the elimination of the grassroots development in the country, because they kind of forced their way into making this like A league, and that kind of took all the finances and all of like the spotlight from the clubs that were kind of ethnic in a way, like also because we have like a lot of Greek clubs, Croatian clubs, Serbian clubs, like all of these like let's say heritage clubs, which were like tightly based community teams where young players had like chance to play from very young age. And now the issue is that they have this like system similar at what US had like for men and for women in like 90s, when you have like academy and that's about it. And if you're not like part of this like 2% people, you really don't have a place to develop, and that causes now like the shortage of the young talent,
young players. Yeah, because how much can you get from this system?
Limited number, exactly.
Yeah, so I think that will be it for now for Australia, and let's move on to next team.
Let's move to Copacabana.
So, do we really need to introduce Brazil, 5 times World Cup winners and still number 1 team in most of the titles?
Yeah, they have like also 8 Copa Americas, and they historically have been part of I think every World Cup since its like inception. But let's say in the 2000s they only have 1 World Cup. In 2002, like the first one, and that's
exactly, yeah.
And the last 2 they got stopped in the quarterfinals both times.
Yeah, they are currently stuck in this weird era.
Yeah, they are kind of stuck between the generations, but still in a way no, because not a lot of young players are coming through, and in the same way they're also like since Tite left after World Cup, they are struggling to find a coach. Like, I finally signed Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Let's see how that will go. But I mean, for a team of, let's say, size and like the magnitude of Brazilian national team, it's embarrassing that they had like 2 caretaker coaches for more than a year.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to what we have here in Poland.
Nobody wants to take this. Like,
no one wants, because like nothing works.
I mean, I understand that it's not the best situation, but still, come on, when you look at the talent, it's
everywhere.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Like, it's still Brazil. But I'll be 100% honest, I don't think that Ancelotti is a solution.
Could be, yeah. My opinion, the solution here might be that young generations of Brazilian players are going to Europe very early.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, they are being taught our way of thinking about football, which is more like strict. You know why?
Yeah, I mean,
Besides,
we talked about this like a lot of times in the videos. Like the philosophy, like the football philosophy, is way different between like South America and Europe.
of course, yeah, like the ocean is the gap
Yeah,
between.
definitely. But that's why I don't think like the solution is Ancelotti, because he's the same guy who completely benched Endrick in Real. Like that guy came as like the next big thing, and he got completely benched, like got frozen out of the squad. And it was very very cynical from Ancelotti when he announced his first, let's say, Brazil squad, and Hendrik wasn't part of it. And then when they got asked by the media in Brazil, like why, he said like, well, he was not playing in his club. And I was like, well, because of you.
Why?
Yeah, like you're the reason, man.
Let's ask why.
But yeah, I mean, they still have a lot of talent. They still have a lot of good players across, well, all the positions. I mean, when you look at it, they should do well, but I really, really don't think that Ancelotti is a solution for them.
Yeah, when we look into the history once again, we will see that Brazil was actually always like that. Like they had golden generation that was winning everything with everyone, and then like 20 years of nothing gap. Yeah, happens, and now we are actually
In that gap.
in that gap
yeah.
After Ronaldinho,
They're now-
Ronaldo, and
Yeah, but I mean, in all honesty, they're now struggling even in Copa
systemical.
America.
Yeah,
And like the last time they went out in quarters of Copa America, I mean that's why after all that, like Dorival got the sack. And it's always painful for them to lose to Argentina. Last match they played like few months ago 4-1 without Messi, like they lost. So I mean, things there definitely need to be fixed. They need to be fixed fast.
and also Ronaldo tried to become their football association CEO. I don't know, like the chairman, but well, he lost against the as we are saying here in Poland, concrete, like the concrete man, that they are just like stuck there, and
Yeah, I mean,
issues are also there, like in the system.
of course, because like in a lot of countries, it all starts like that. The fish smells from the head,
Yeah,
and that's how it goes. I mean, I'm not also sure that Ronaldo is the best way to deal with it, because come on, like Valladolid like got relegated twice under his watch, so I don't know.
yeah.
But all in all, I would be lying if I told you that I expect like Brazil to go far. And also because of the ego, like they still think they're top of the world, that they're the best club, they're the best team, that they're best everything. I just remember like last World Cup, after beating like South Korea, these celebrations, even like the coach was like doing the pigeon with Richarlison.
Yeah.
And then like the first serious team, like against Croatia, they got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, it was crazy match because like Neymar scored in like 80 something minute.
Yeah, and then Petkovic scored for Croatia, and like bam bam.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, because Croatia, every time when they go through, they got a medal.
Yeah, and they always win their penalty matches, like 90% of them.
Yeah, that's how you get medals.
So yeah. And now we're going to Ecuador!
That is right. Well, we are switching to the pretty much opposite pole from Brazil to like Ecuador, because Ecuador is also a very old football nation. They started, well, basically just like whole South America before even like the Second World War, but they never have been anyone serious. They've been trying to many times to become a dark horse of like South America, Copa America tournaments, maybe like Olympics sometimes, but
Last time they it so close, because they had penalty shootout against Argentina, and which they lost.
yeah, and this stuff were happening like lots of times through their entire history, but to be honest, today I think we are dealing with the best Ecuador ever.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree.
In World Cup qualifications in South America, they basically not losing. They lost only against Argentina, who are still world champions.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of the times they are at minimum they are only drawing.
Yeah, they're like masters of nil-nil. Because I was weirded out and I thought it was a mistake when I like saw the data, but then I saw like since that Argentina match in Copa America, they only conceded 2 goals.
That is right. They are like Inter Milan of Champions League.
Like that's crazy. And I mean, and in another way that makes sense because they have like Argentinian coach who studied under Sampaoli, and on the other hand, they have one half of the center back partnership of the PSG, like the current champions of Europe, like Pachu.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe probably also PSG will win this Club World Cup, but
yeah, that's
just
not
saying.
the topic. But yeah, I mean, exactly. They're in the semi-final currently from the like moment we are recording this.
Yeah. So when it comes to World Cup, Ecuador, just like I said, wasn't anyone special. They played 4 times and advanced from the group stage only once in 2006 when they played against Poland, Costa Rica and the host Germany, and they have won their first 2 matches against us and against Costa Rica, and yeah, that was it. They were pretty close in Qatar to also go through.
Because they won their first match against the host.
Yeah, the opening match, and they got disallowed very first goal, but it was correctly disallowed.
Yeah. And I still remember because like a lot of people didn't know the actual rules, how it works, and they were like bitching on Twitter and all of the social media. This is corruption. This is this and that.
And also, the fans of like Ecuador's team were showing international sign of money all around, and like the Qatar fans who had like whole stadium were like shouting like no. It's not like that. Well, yeah, they won first match, drew against the Dutch, and lost against the Senegal and Senegal with 6 points.
That's what cost them literally, because they had it in the bag. Literally, like one point out of that match, and they're through.
Yeah, but actually, in that World Cup, we have seen like a growing tree of totally new team of Ecuador, and like you said,
they are now coming into age, because at that point they were like a lot of them were kids, and when you look at their squad, like most of them are in the early 20s still. Yeah, like the only exception is their best striker René Valencia, who's like 87, but he's still good and he's still playing on a high level. And that World Cup that you just mentioned was actually his resurgence, because like the people thought that he was like down and out even at that point
for ages, and then he was like hola.
Like, okay, I'm gonna score like ton of goals in this World Cup,
I guess.
So I guess I mean
Valencia and Delgado.
I mean, so what do you in general expect to see from them in this World Cup? Like, do you think that they are able to take it to the next level and to, like, at least get out of the group?
I will be smarter if I will see the group who will they be playing against, of course. But I'm a fan of history, to be honest, that history likes to repeat itself. Like, there has been times that the hype was very high, and like something was always missing. Maybe they cannot comprehend like the expectations that being put into them. But yeah, like I also said, we are dealing with, in my opinion, the best generation of Ecuador team.
We're dealing with a generation who like conceded 2 goals in like year and a half.
and maybe that's the thing that was missing in the past.
Yeah,
I don't know, we'll see.
Like this like new coach brought them like tactical stability, and I guess it's working. Like even if they're not scoring, at least they're not conceding any goals. So
Yeah,
they're gonna be a tough cookie for sure.
exactly. And you have right now more teams, just like we were saying, like Uzbekistan, Jordan, New Zealand, and there are still more to come.
Yeah.
So there are more chances for them to actually play once again in an easy group, just like they did in 2006. It turned out that this group was easy for them, not for us. Well, yeah, let's move out from South America and go back to Asia, because one last team that we have for today is South Korea.
So, what to say about South Korea? I mean, they had one-off qualification in the 50s, 60s.
In 50s, yeah.
Yeah. And after that, they didn't qualify for like 30 years. But since they made it to, I think that was in Mexico.
Yeah, in 1986.
Yeah, they have been in every World Cup and until now, and like with this like 48 teams, I really can't imagine that changing in the near future, because at this point they're like the household name of the like Asian football.
Exactly.
Like, even though in general they struggled in Asian Cup, weirdly, that like even Qatar has took it like now twice in a row.
Yeah.
But they only have like few championship, and it was like ages ago.
Yeah, like 50s and 60s.
Yeah, but at least they have the best World Cup history out of every Asian team.
Exactly. Yeah, but mostly because of the
Of
refs.
the Ecuadorian ref, we have like Moreno.
Yeah.
Yeah, that match against Italy was a pure disgrace. Like, that was.
Yeah. Also, like some histories that South Korean players were automatically fired from the
From
Italian
Perugia,
clubs.
this like An guy. Like, I remember that story, like, because he was one of the players who was playing in Italy, and like after that he got fired.
Yeah, Italians were pissed.
Yeah,
After
and
that match,
rightfully so, to be honest, because that was like one of the most disgraceful like robberies in the history of World Cup.
Yeah, against Italy, against Spain, and then karma kinda turned back in the semi-final against Germany, where South Koreans should get a penalty, but didn't, because one of the Germans just had a
Handled the
handball.
ball,
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like you said, like you can go up to a certain distance.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's like the host advantage, well, on steroids on that championship. So they made it to semi-finals.
Weird things were happening. Also, a fun fact: until 2002, where they were, of course, like the co-host with Japan, they didn't win a single match in any World Cup before, until the first match against Poland. Of course.
It's always Poland.
Yeah.
Like,
Best rival you can get to go through.
ever since like 1939.
Yeah, I mean that they went to nil in first match back then was fair and square. They were way better team, of course. I'm not saying that this was also like rigged.
Yeah.
Because no, they were better and yeah.
They are good. Like they're now even better and better. And now, of course, like their biggest star is like Heung-min Son.
Yeah.
Like he's a generational talent, not just for South Korea but for Asian football. He's one of the most recognizable and I would say loved and like revered players in the entire world, to be honest, because like I haven't met a single person who had anything bad to say about him.
Yeah, he's humble and yeah, he's very
just
good.
a chilled dude. And
Exactly. Yeah.
So they also have a lot of like younger players who are even from young age started to get developed in Europe, and one of them just won Champions League also, like, and yeah, I mean he was in Valencia since the age of 10, so they are also going with that route, and like in this like type of championships, I'm always not that bothered by the quality of the coach, but about like what kind of atmosphere he can like make inside the team. I remember like one of the first World Cups I was like old enough to actually like remember. It was like 98 and what Croatia did, and their coach is not a good coach, absolutely not a good coach, but he was like the motivator, and he had like those people like dying for him on the pitch. And now South Korea went the same rules. They have
the power of friendship.
Power of friendship, yeah. They have their like one of the biggest legends and their most kept like player of all the time as coach. So if they're gonna do it for anyone, they're gonna do it for him. And in general, they didn't have much of a problem to go outside the group stages lately, though they did it in this Qatar World Cup in the weirdest way, because that was rigged also.
In last seconds of match against Portugal, yeah.
Like so rigged, but yeah.
South Korean style.
Yeah, but I mean, then they very heavily lost to Brazil. That was a hard watch. But yeah. I mean, yeah.
Difference of two classes,
Definitely, and like, I mean, what we must definitely like say is they're not gonna be like an easy target, probably like a punching bag as they were like in 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
But like, depending also like on the group, on like how the draw of luck like sees them,
yeah,
they might like again make it out of the group, and then pray for someone they can actually play against, and not like someone on the level of like France, Brazil, Spain, like Netherlands, those teams who are like way
Italy,
outside their league.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just like you said, we will see, and South Korea will always be there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely with this like 48 club version of World Cup.
Yeah, and probably even more after like 2030, I think.
God knows at this point.
So guys, that will be it. Once again, we have introduced you some of the teams that are 100% sure that they are going to North America for next year World Cup. We are waiting for the next fixtures for the next teams.
That will be in September, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe we will know also more about our region, which is of course Europe, who is most likely going for this World Cup. But until then, leave a like, share and subscribe just like always, and stay tuned for more.
Take care.